Welcome back. All right, news of the day video for all you fine people on the internet for your Saturday, April the 12th, and this is just one of those jerseys that has my name and number on it. I'm kind of getting anxious about meetup season. I keep, every now and then somebody will message me, or like last week we were at the mall and somebody approached me. He's like, when are we getting back into meetups? I'm like, soon. So there is a day off in between regular season and postseason, but I've been told that a meetup on the one day that I have without hockey, not a romantic date. No idea. Anyways, women, right? Anyways, so we'll start at the top of the board, and Avalanche fans understandably excited. What's interesting is that with Gabriel Landeskog, every time that I did an update on his condition and on his attempt at a return, that it felt like fans of the Avs were nervous about getting their hopes up. And yet, it did feel like he was progressing, and now he's played his first game for the Eagles, and he said he felt great. Getting Landeskog back in the lineup for the Avalanche could be a huge boost to them, and so, it looks like he'll be back with the team before the regular season's done. I'd be very surprised if he's not, if he feels this good. You at least want to get him into, I'd say, a game before the playoffs. Something along those lines. So we'll see what they end up doing there. The clinching scenarios for tonight, Montreal. They can clinch with a regulation win, or if they get one past 60 minutes and Columbus fails to win in regulation, which, or if you're watching that game, you know why I paused at that idea. Or if they get a point and Columbus loses in any fashion, which, All right, so I don't want to spoil it just in case there's people who haven't watched the game, or they might be PVRing it or whatever. So, Montreal has those clinching scenarios. Minnesota can clinch with a win, and if the Blues lose in regulation. So, that's all it will take. And Buiam, the young prospect, the good news for Minnesota fans is, according to Bill Guerin, he will be joining the team once he is signed and everything, and that's going to happen this season. So a Minnesota team that has gotten a bit of a boost in terms of their roster with Kaprizov and Eriksson Ek returning. Brodin back in the lineup and everything. Now a really good young prospect joining the team as well. Speaking of which, Carolina. And there were a lot of Canes fans that mentioned this yesterday, so I will mention this here. Nikishin is wearing number 21 today in his debut for the Carolina Hurricanes against the New York Rangers. Also, Will Carrier is returning to the lineup for Carolina. And the Canes could use this infusion of talent right now. They've won 4 of their last 10. And with a series against the Devils looming as soon as next Saturday, we'll see how the schedule looks for the start of the playoffs. But getting Nikishin in the lineup, we'll see what he does. We'll see how things turn out. I generally just cover the first round draft picks because it can get really just a mess of signings and everything. And then fans could feel left out if it's like, well, he talked about these signings and not these signings. And that's why, like 5 years ago, I decided I'm just going to talk about the first round draft picks when they get signed, outside of a couple special, exceptions to that. Zach Werenski has set a franchise record for the Columbus Blue Jackets with his 21st goal as a defenseman. So a D-man in Columbus had reached 20 goals previously, never 21. So Zach Werenski now has that record to himself. So not surprised that he has rewritten the record book. Kind of surprised it's now that he hadn't rewritten the record book before this. Easy for me to say. So tomorrow there's a game between San Jose and Calgary. It'll be Canada's first full-length. There's a T in length. You just go ahead and put this here, because that's going to drive me nuts. It's one of those things where, I'm writing fast to get everything on the board, and then, just a letter escapes me. Anyways, full-length, real-time animated game. That'll be on Sportsnet 360 and Sportsnet Plus. So a question that I would have is that I haven't really watched the animated games. Do kids really enjoy the animated games? Is this drawing in a lot of... Because I haven't seen the stats on how many people view these, and whether or not this makes it more palatable for young kids, which I assume is the audience for this. I don't watch hockey games and think, man, I really wish this was animated. So I would imagine it's aimed at kids. But if you're a parent and you got small kids, does it make it easier for the kids to get interested in hockey? Does it not? The fact this is a full-length game. Like, I know they have the weekly game on Sportsnet, which is, I think, half an hour, and it's a condensed game. I feel like that'd be a little bit easier for kids. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on this animation of NHL games. This is part of the reason why they have those trackers in the shoulders and all that, is so that you can do this kind of, it's kind of like motion capture, right? Not really, but kind of, sort of. So this was also discussed yesterday. I'll go ahead and weigh in on this here. Isaac Howard, who won the Hobey Baker Award, so big deal in the NCAA. And I'm old enough to remember when the Hobey Baker winner would be announced, everything, you'd think, well, maybe they'll make the NHL, maybe not. Now the NCAA's talent level is really, really high. Lots of top young prospects there, comparatively speaking, with generations before. And so Isaac Howard being the Hobey Baker winner means he is one of the best prospects outside of the National Hockey League, and he has basically not been able to sign with Tampa. Tampa holds his rights until August 15th of 2026. So the deal is this: they have until then to either trade him and somebody else signs him, or he becomes a free agent, right? So if Howard is unwilling to sign with the Tampa Bay Lightning, that means he's very likely to be traded. I would think anytime between now and next year's trade deadline. There's no rush. There's no reason that Tampa Bay has to go out and put his name out there now. I'm sure with this news being out there, they're already getting some phone calls on what they'd be looking for in return. Maybe he gets moved at the draft. Maybe at the draft we see his rights being moved to another team. Maybe Tampa picks up I would say, second rounder for him, something along those lines. Maybe it's a prospect for prospect trade. But yeah, Isaac Howard has played well, and apparently not going to end up being a Tampa Bay Lightning team player. Hakanpää is hoping to return during the playoffs for the Toronto Maple Leafs. He's had a rough season, which was to be expected after last season in Dallas, and with his ongoing injury issues. Not really a huge surprise he's missed a lot of time for Toronto this year. If they did get him back for the playoffs, and if he can be effective, he is a good shutdown defenseman. His mobility had been all right before this, but that is obviously something he'd have to watch with the injuries he's been going through. But he's physical, he's a big defenseman, and so we'll see if he's ready to come back. Philip Broberg is away from the St. Louis Blues. He's returned to St. Louis for a personal reason, and I did not see what that was. Now, that can be family reasons. That can be that, your wife's having a baby. That could be a lot of things. So I hope that everything's all right with Broberg. Matthew Kessel is going to play in his spot tonight. So St. Louis Blues, again, if they lose in regulation and if Minnesota wins, then the Minnesota Wild clinch themselves a playoff spot. I wouldn't be surprised if they both got a win tonight, just to keep things up in the air, and who knows what's going to happen. The thing that Minnesota did, though, by losing last night against Calgary, was they took away that power that they had, where they could have just clinched themselves a spot with a regulation win last night, and that just kind of throws everything a little bit up in the air. Although the teams that are currently above the playoff line, we're pretty sure they're staying there, aren't we? Anyways, there you go. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. As always, hit like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Yeah, it's Saturday, so it's hockey all day. But if I seem a little bit out of sorts today, my little rabbit here, Cinnabon, I'm a little concerned. She's not eating the way she normally does. She's not as chipper as she normally is, so wife's going to take her into the vet and get her checked out. One thing with rabbits, and this is just for anybody who might be thinking about it, their digestive system really, really sensitive. So with rabbits, you have to watch and see if there's any kind of lethargy, if they're eating, and all of that fun stuff. And yeah, so that's kind of what's on my mind today. So I'm sure I'm just paranoid, and she's fine. That's usually the case with pets in my house. But there you go. Thank you guys so much for all your support as always. Hit like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. I will talk to you again soon. I will be doing a review of the first 4 games. When those are all final, I will be reviewing the other 7 games in a second video, and that will include a preview of the Sunday games. Thus, no preview on this board at this time. So there you go. Thank you guys for all your support as I stated. I will talk to you again soon.